Scaling a mountain, extreme skiing, scuba diving, mountain biking, and marathons. I don't do any of these things. I'm just a regular guy that does regular stuff. And I'm gonna tell you how my last 4 months with the Apple Watch Ultra has been. The Apple Watch Ultra is Apple's flagship watch, and upon first impressions, you can tell. It's made up of a really nice looking and high quality titanium frame sandwiched between a 49mm sapphire glass display covering and a ceramic backplate which houses all of the sensors, which we'll get to. The one striking thing about this Apple Watch though is the more industrial look when compared to the other Apple Watches. It has exposed pentalobe screws, a protruding hump on the right side depending on how you wear it to protect the digital crown, and even the sapphire glass gets a facelift so it can sit flat. Oh, and I can't forget the orange accents, which, if I have to be honest, I'm still not entirely a huge fan of. But I'll admit, when I first saw the Ultra, I thought it looked a little awkward, though I think these design quirks make it stand out from this heavily saturated crowd. Before we go further into the video though, a like and a sub would be heavily appreciated. I'm trying to see if we can hit 12,000 subscribers on the channel by February. It would mean a lot if we can do so. Anyways, let's get right back into the video. Coming from the 44mm Series 7, my biggest concern with the Apple Watch Ultra was that it was going to be too big. Adding about 5mm to the watch's dimensions and 10 grams to the overall weight, I also thought it was going to be pretty cumbersome. Though, in my experience, I was completely wrong. I think part of this is because I was using a case on my aluminum Series 7, and I was also using a metal band, which does add a lot of weight, but it couldn't be further from what I had thought. The Apple Watch Ultra completely blends into my day-to-day, and honestly, I don't even really notice that it's there. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, there's days that I completely forget that I'm even wearing the watch. That's something that would have been pretty problematic on the Series 7, given that the battery life wouldn't have lasted any more than about 18 hours on a good day. Though when it comes to the Apple Watch Ultra, I'm able to put it on and quite literally never think about it thanks to that advertised 36 hours of battery life. Ironically, I don't actually see this estimate doing the watch justice because I'm able to put it on and quite literally forget about this watch over a weekend. I find myself getting about 2 days with this thing, no problem, and it's perfect for me when it comes to sleep tracking, though I feel like if you're using it for a lot of activity tracking and workouts and stuff like that, I think the 36 is going to be pretty generous for you. The Apple Watch Ultra's display though is what makes this thing a huge selling point over the other smartwatches, especially other Apple Watches. It's an always-on Retina LTPO OLED display with up to 2000 nits brightness outdoors, and its 49mm size makes it perfect for loading your watch with the smallest complications, typing out text messages, or reading your notifications while you're out or staying active. The display is impressive, and the fact that it's on my wrist is wicked. It really brings the whole watch together, and I think Apple really nailed it. I fat finger everything and I have shaky hands, so just having a larger display that I can manipulate whilst I'm moving around actually makes me use this watch more. Typically, my Apple Watch has always just been a way for me to receive notifications, but now it's actually been a way for me to do more. Given the fact that the display is actually bigger, it makes me want to genuinely use the device. I looked for more ways that I can actually open myself up to using it just because it's easier to navigate now. I actually want to use the watch because of how large the display is. I set it up so that I can do more and I want to do more on it. And that's the beauty of having a display that's this large. Like, I you know, coming from the smaller displays and the smaller watches, going all the way up to this one, it was a night and day difference, and it made me genuinely enjoy actually using the Apple Watch Ultra. And I put this thing on every day, even when I'm not doing anything. I just use this watch for literally whatever I can. Having the larger display also makes your watch feel less constrained, more spaced out, and even more pleasing to look at. So I actually throw a ton of stuff in it now, and now have a ton more information to glance at. It's been such a game changer for me in my everyday life, and it's been a pleasure using the 49mm display on the Ultra. The Apple Watch Ultra also does come with LTE, so you don't have to buy a specific LTE version, which is really nice. When you first set it up, you will be prompted whether you want to add LTE from your carrier or not, and that's something that I decided to do. It's really nice to be able to just leave my phone at home and use this as my phone. Because the display is large enough, I can use it to make phone calls, send and receive text messages, and this is all I need when I'm going out. It's nice to know that this is all I need to take in case of emergencies. And one nice benefit of this thing is because it has 32 gigs of internal storage, I can literally just take my AirPods with me, download all of my music, and use this for Apple Music, for taking voice calls, sending text messages, and I don't even need my phone on me if I want to disconnect a little bit and go for a walk to grab a coffee or go to the mall. This is all I need. And it's really nice to travel light sometimes if I don't want to take my phone or have a lot of distractions, or if I want to just kind of disconnect and breathe a little bit. But again, it's nice because when you don't have your phone on you, you don't have that kind of safety net in case of an emergency. But with the watch, I still have that LTE connection, and I didn't have to pay extra to get that. I just have to tack it onto my carrier, which is only an extra $5 a month. And speaking of emergencies, thanks to the S8 SIP, the Apple Watch Ultra does include crash detection as well, which uses the gyroscope and accelerometer data inside of the watch to detect whether you've been in a crash. So if it does detect whether you've been in a crash, it will alert emergency services if you've been unresponsive. Now this is in all of the other watch models and also the iPhone 14 series, but it is just a nice safety net to have. And while I don't necessarily like the idea of Apple marketing against scare tactics, if you know what I mean, I do think these are very beneficial features and they've already helped a ton of people. And I think they're nice to have in these devices. So it's not necessarily something that I'm gonna rip on. I do find them beneficial, and you never know if you're ever gonna be in a situation where this is gonna be helpful. So why not have them? One thing that I find very useful, and I hope that I will never need, is fall detection. Fall detection detects whether you've been in a really hard fall and whether you're immobile. It'll count down 30 seconds and then alert emergency services. This is important to me right now because I've been out of work because of a seizure, and God forbid one ever happens again while I'm in the shower or home when nobody's home and I hit my head and knock myself out. So this is something that I just like to have on me. It's just nice peace of mind, but it's something that I also hope that I never have to use. It's just these kind of health safety things that are in the Apple Watch that I can really appreciate, because it's something that kind of puts my mind to ease, and it's something that I know a lot of people actually do care about. And when it comes to the Ultra, just knowing that I have the most accurate heart rate, gyroscope, and accelerometers is also just nice peace of mind. The model I got came with the Ocean Band, and this is probably the only gripe that I actually have with the Apple Watch Ultra. Realistically, this band is designed for people who are diving or doing water sports, so this is a non-issue, though I know there are people using this band as an everyday band and do enjoy it. The material closely resembles the Sport Loop silicone band that Apple ships with all standard Apple Watches, though this has got to be one of the most uncomfortable bands that I've ever used. The fitment is just odd, and the way that you go about adjusting it is just weird. In my opinion, I would just stay away from this band if I were you. I had to go for this model because it was the only one in stock when I picked it up, but save yourself the headache and go for the Trail Loop or the Alpine Loop if you want a comfortable, nice everyday band. Or do what I did and go pick up this band off of Amazon. It is a knockoff Alpine Loop, and it's a very nice, sleek looking black one that I got for about 15 Canadian dollars, so probably like 10 American dollars. It's made from pretty much the exact same material. It's black, which is a color that Apple doesn't make it in, but you could get it in the factory colors, and it is pretty much spot on. There aren't really any stitching issues, and it is very comfortable. It feels the same. I've used the army green color, and It literally is the exact same band, and you literally cannot go wrong with it. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.